I would much rather be told that I'm giving too much information rather than be ever, even once, be told that I didn't give enough. Hello, everybody. I'm a real estate broker in Toronto, Canada. Today, we're going to be talking about this weird form that everybody is always confused about called working with a realtor. Now, it is almost always overlooked, but it's very important that you understand the legal benefits that you have and the choices that you have when you're going to be working with an agent. Without further ado, let's jump into that article right away. This is what the form looks like. It's working with a realtor. We're going to put that in so that you can find it next time if you're looking for this form. Let's go over this form because your rights are really, really important for you to be able to maximize your time in buying the right property from the right agent. This is a form that comes up all the time in Ontario, but they're very, very similar depending on what province or state that you are in. All over Canada, they have this same form, but this one is from the Ontario Real Estate Association. This is important for you guys to know that. It's official form, and you got to know how to use this to your benefit, because I think that the benefits of it will by far outweigh whatever you think is the bad side of it. So let's look this up. Form 810. So in Ontario, real estate profession is governed by the Real Estate and Business Brokers Act. So there's a lot of laws around this, and it's administered by RECO, R-E-C-O, which is basically real estate police that are out there that are going to make sure that everything is okay as you're going to be moving forward with this. So I want you guys to do well, okay? I want you guys to be okay with this. Now, I want you to look at when you choose what service to use. This is very, very important. You have to choose. The act requires that the brokerage or the realtor explain the types of services available to you. So the law says that you have to, right? That you have to explain this. If you're not doing it, you're not following the law. Okay, so this is your choices. You have two choices. Do you notice here it says client and the other one says customer? These are your two choices, only two, okay? And just so that I tell you up front, there's two ways to look at it. Number one, a customer, think of this as self-represented. If you're a client, think of it like a lawyer. You're going to be represented by someone. So lawyer or self-represented. So if we go back to the form under client here, it says a client relationship is the highest form of obligation for a realtor. It's the best out of the two. Let's go down. The agreement contains an explanation of the services that they'll be providing, a fee arrangement. Remember, if you're going to buy a property, it's for free, but you have to get this form every time. Okay. Once a broker and a consumer enter into a client relationship, notice this is your first choice, the brokerage must protect the interests of the client and what is best for the client. This is so important. They are legally responsible to have your best interests at heart. Legally. The brokerage could be in trouble. The agent can be in trouble if they are doing any backdoor dealings, okay? You want them to legally be doing what is best for you. Remember, if you go all over Canada, United States, a lot of these financial advisors that you go into the bank and talk to them, they don't have fiduciary duty. Their job is to sell you the best mutual fund with the biggest commission for themselves. In real estate, it's different. We have fiduciary duty, and you should take advantage of that. So let's go back. They must protect the interests of the client and do what is best for them. Roger, must strive for the benefit of the client and must not disclose a client's confidential information. Confidentiality, isn't that huge? In today's world, isn't that incredible that we have to now make it a law that your information is confidential? You can't talk about it to your wife, your friends, and everything. It is confidential. That's really, really important. All right, let's head back in. Now I have fiduciary duty. I have confidentiality, and they're going to make reasonable efforts to determine any material facts. Notice it said any. They're not picking and choosing any facts relating to the transaction, and they're going to have to disclose them to you. This is really, really, really important, right? You have that confidentiality, super important, and you have fiduciary duty, super important. Now, what is your second choice? I mean, that all sounds good, right? But when you are a client, you have to sign. So you're going to be, this is not an active form. This is an example, but you see, you would have your name here and you would say, I'm a buyer. And then you would have right here your brokerage that your agent would be at. And you would be signing the fact that, yes, he is my agent, and you're going to be signing underneath here. Now, this is the confusing part for most. When you are signing for an agent and you are going to be working with him in a geographic location, you are now exclusive to that agent. You can't have 5 different agents. Imagine going to court and standing before a judge and having 5 different lawyers with 5 different ideas. That doesn't work. So what you're giving up is exclusivity. You have to work with that one agent, but what do you get in return? You get fiduciary duty, and you get all of the material facts given to you, the disclosures and confidentiality. You get everything. So this does not cost you any more. Remember, when you're selling a house, automatically you have to sign this form when you're selling a house. But if you're buying a house, completely different. All right. So this is, if you're going to be buying a house, you have to be exclusive to them. All right. So if we're going to check out the rest of the form, we're going to see what is on the second side. The second side is customer. Now, remember what we went through, all of the different beautiful things for being a client. The second one for customer, what is inside of a customer? It says a buyer and seller may wish not to be under contract, not exclusive with you. Okay, so that's great. A realtor is obligated to treat every person with honesty, fairness, and integrity. But unlike a client, you are not a client, provides customer with restricted level of service. Did you notice that? You are not a client. So it's not confidentiality. It's not the best interest of the client. You could work with whoever you want, but limited service. Now, what would that limited service mean? Let's get into some details here. What is that? Services provided may include showing a property, taking a customer's direction to draft an offer. Let's break that down. If you walked into the house, remember the new word customer is getting changed out to be self-represented. So if you said, David, do you think this is a good property? In a legal sense, I could say, well, I don't know. I'm here to open the door and write up the offer. Do you think this basement is good? Do you think it's dodgy downstairs? Do you think this is a good price? I don't know. You're self-represented. What do you think I should offer on the contract? I don't know. You're self-represented. Like, you need an agent to go and open the door, and you need an agent to fill out the forms, but that's the end of it. So if you actually are asking, is this a good neighborhood? Do you know anything about it? Do you know anything about the house? Do you know anything about building? What are you seeing in the market these days? No longer are you a client. You don't owe them that fiduciary duty. So those are the two differences. And we have been plagued in real estate market these days with people that don't want to sign. Now, I understand that. You don't want to be exclusive. If you are signed on with somebody and they're not treating you well, you can always ask that agent to send you an email that says, I release you. Okay. Or if that doesn't work, you can go to the broker above him and ask them, can you get them to release me? That's possible as well. So let's go back to the form, and I want you to read it because it says that you must know realtors are obligated to disclose facts that may affect buying and selling of a property, but it says it's difficult for a realtor to judge what facts are important. So this is important for all of us to know that, right? But this is the hard part, is the realtor shouldn't have to be juggling what facts to tell you and what not. If you are a client, the first one, he should be telling you everything. Now, I've been accused this in the past. Well, I'm giving too much information. Now, this has happened to me dozens of times in my career. But let me tell you this, I would much rather be told that I'm giving too much information rather than be ever, even once, be told that I didn't give enough. So massive, massive honesty in all you do. But I think that this form is really good. So if you sign with somebody, you only work with that someone, you can always get out of it. If you ask the agent or ask the brokerage, most of the time they're going to release you, no problem. But you can't expect the same level of service when you're going the other way. So what we're seeing these days is there is like 100,000 agents around Toronto where I live, and there's so many agents that are out there. Sidebar, they're quitting like crazy. Some cities are losing 1,000 a month, realtors just quitting because they're not selling any properties anymore. The market has really slowed down. Now we're going to see that. Remember, only the good agents will make it through this. So I think that everybody should be using this form to their benefit. But what we're seeing, because so many agents are so busy and they want more, they're going to be telling all their clients or their family members, because everybody knows 5 agents, right? So what they do is they'll tell their family member, maybe their brother, go have all these other agents show you all the properties for the next 6 months, 9 months until you find one that you like. And when you're about to buy that one, just let me know and I'll do up all the paperwork and I'll make the commission. And then that guy who worked for you for 9 months or a year, he doesn't get paid. He just wasted a year of his life. And so I got to tell you that this is very, very common. It's actually happened to me many, 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 many times. So you kind of get very upset when you've spent every weekend, every Saturday, every Sunday for 6 months, 9 months showing a couple homes, and then they just go with their brother. I mean, it really, really made me mad. I felt it was a stab in the back, but what can you do? This is the way it works. So what we're seeing these days is on the listings, there's not a section. I mean, there's a section you can't see. It's called brokers comments. So you can't see that from the public. But on it, it will say, if the showing the listing agent showed the property, he will be taking off another 1% of the commission. You're going to be penalized for doing misdeeds. And so if I had a perfect world, all agents that are being used by a client would be the clients. I mean, it's the highest form. I think you should do that. So I think what you do is you got to make sure that you're working with a good agent. Remember, there's that old adage that says that you get what you pay for. In real estate, it's not that way. They all charge the same price. So the guy who's been in the business for 20 years, he's got a lot of experience. He knows what to do. That guy's charging the same price as the guy that just got his license 2 days ago. So you can get a really, really, really good agent for the same price. Get the really good agent. And listen, those good agents, if you didn't like their service for any reason, I'm telling you, if you didn't get it from them, the release, I'm sure that the brokerage would release you as well, because they don't want to drag this out. They're busy. They have other clients. And so anyway, that's what I think. It's a very important form and nobody ever reads it. You know, you always skip over the fine print, but I think that the nuance is really, really important. Everybody should have fiduciary duty. It really rubs me the wrong way that all these financial advisors don't even have it. Your bankers don't have it, but a realtor has it. I'm not saying that a realtor shouldn't have it. I said everyone should. When you go get a service or a product, they should have your best interest at heart. Anyway, am I crazy? I think that's the way it is. Anyway, I hope you appreciated going through that form. If you have any questions, please leave it below. If this helps you, if you know somebody this could help, send it over their way. Anyway, we really appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night, everyone.